Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne and today I have a special treat for all of us. I'm going to be making my mom's 7-Up cake. This is a recipe that my mom and her sisters, my aunties, made for years. Are you ready? Let's get started. So first what we're going to do is we're going to be using 3 sticks of salted butter, which is the equivalent of 1.5 cups. Now in the description box below, I will have a list of all the ingredients you need to make this old school 7-Up pound cake. And y'all, it comes out so good. So we have our 3 sticks of butter that are nice and soft that we are going to be putting in our mixing bowl. Now the secret to really good 7-Up cake is that you want to make sure that you are going to be whipping the ingredients at the proper time. First, what we're going to do is we're going to be whipping our butters, our 3 sticks of butter. So you want to make sure that it's nice and soft. So we start off with nice soft butter. And you want to make sure it's not melted, but it is soft. Then to that, once we have really gotten our butter where we have whipped it into our mixing bowl, then we're going to be adding in our sugar. So we're going to be putting in 1 cup of sugar at a time and go on, and you want to make sure that you're going to blend after each addition of your 1 cup of sugar. Now because this is pound cake and there is no leavening, there's no baking powder, there's no baking soda, the way in which you mix your ingredients are really key to get that nice, moist, and delicious pound cake, the 7-Up pound cake that we are going to be making. Now once you're done adding your sugar, you want to let your mixer go for a bit because you really want to have the butter and the sugar get well incorporated together. Also, you want to be mindful that when you're making your 7-Up pound cake that you do want to stop your mixer and scrape down the sides and anything that can tend to gather in the bottom of our mixing bowl. Next, we have 5 large eggs that we have at room temperature. It's very important that you want your eggs at room temperature. Room temperature eggs are going to mix better in your cake. Anytime that you're making cake, always want to make sure that you have room temperature eggs. You're going to add your eggs in one at a time and let the butter, the sugar, and the eggs mix well after each addition. So you don't want to put them in all at once, want to put it in a little bit at a time. So once we have just a few of our eggs in, I stop my mixer, I scrape the sides, and I also scrape the bottom. Also, when you're doing your mixer, you want to be mindful of the speed in which you're mixing your cake because we don't want our cake to be tough at all. The cake will be dense, but it has a very great texture where it comes out very moist, and that is all going to be how you put your ingredients together to get your final 7-Up pound cake. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returner, welcome back. This 7-Up pound cake today is a special celebration cake for me because I have reached a new milestone with my channel. I have now 2,000 subscribers and counting. I am excited to see my channel grow. I enjoy interacting with all of you in the comments, and it has just been such a wonderful thing to share my kitchen and recipes with you. And if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and become one of my wonderful subscribers. So next what we're going to do is we're going to be using our 7-Up, and we have 3/4 of a cup of 7-Up. Now our recipe, our 7-Up that we're going to put in the cake, as well as I'm going to share with you the 7-Up frosting, the 7-Up glaze that we're going to be doing for our cake as well. And so 1 can will do it for the whole recipe. Now also with the 7-Up, you want to make sure that it's not cold. You do not want to use cold 7-Up. Just a can that's been sitting on your counter is fine. Now for this cake, to make it nice and delicate, we want to use cake flour in our recipe. And we're going to be using 3 cups of cake flour. Now with your cake flour, you want to sift your cake flour. That's very important because we want to make sure that we have no lumps at all when we are putting together our 7-Up cake. And now when it comes to adding the cake flour as well as our 7-Up to our cake mix so far, we want to make sure that we're going to be doing it in stages. We're going to first add the dry ingredients, which is going to be our cake flour. to our butter, sugar, and egg mixture, and we're going to alternate with our 7-Up that we have. So first we're going to start off with our cake flour, and we're going to end with our cake flour when we're doing our mixing. Now this is going to create a lot of batter. So if you are using a hand mixer, you want to make sure that you have a very large bowl, because you don't want to run out of room when you are putting together your 7-Up pound cake. So make sure you have a large bowl that you're using. Also, when it comes to the Bundt Pan that we're going to be using, you want to use a 10 cup or a 12 cup Bundt Pan. Okay, you're going to need a nice large Bundt Pan, and then I'll show you what you want to do when it's time for you to prepare your Bundt Pan for your 7-Up pound cake. So first I start off with my cake flour, then I put in some 7-Up, and I put in half of my 7-Up. Then I went on and I added more cake flour. Now we're going to do the second half of our 7-Up, and you want to have your mixer on low speed, whether you're using a hand mixer or either you're using a stand mixer. And then we're going to also be adding some lemon extract, and we're going to be using 2 teaspoons of our lemon extract. And be sure to pause your mixing from time to time to scrape the sides and as well as the bottom of your mixing bowl. Also, with the lemon extract, the recipe also calls for almond extract as well. Now we have made our 7-Up pound cake with and without the almond extract in the past, and sometimes mom just didn't have necessarily some almond extract in the kitchen, so we just used the lemon extract. And having it both ways, I like using only the lemon extract, and the reason is because I feel as though the 7-Up flavor comes through a little bit better, a little bit more when just using the lemon extract. However, if you like to use an almond extract as well, I will have that information in the description box below, and with the almond extract, it is also delicious. Now once we have the last of our cake flour in our bowl, you want to go on and let your batter continue to blend on low just until there's no more dry cake flour and everything has come together nicely. This is what your batter should look like, nice and smooth. And then we're going to go on and we're going to use our 10 cup Bundt Pan. With your Bundt Pan, you want to spray it or either use butter. So you want to either spray it. I use nonstick spray for my Bundt Pan, and then in addition to that, you also want to use flour as well. So you're going to do your nonstick spray, or either you're going to coat it with butter, and you also want to use flour as well, because we want to ensure that our cake does not stick at all to our pan. And so that's why you want to make sure that you're going to be using both the flour as well as butter when it comes time to prepare your Bundt Pan. And this is a 10 cup Bundt Pan. You can use either a 10 cup or up to a 12 cup Bundt Pan. Want to make sure that you have plenty of room for your 7-Up pound cake to rise. Now while I was doing this, I have my oven is preheating on 325 degrees, and our cake is going to bake in the oven for 1 hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Also be sure to smooth and even out the top of your cake as well. Have it nice and even in your pan. So our cake has cooked in our oven for 1 hour and 10 minutes. This is what our wonderful 7-Up pound cake is looking like, y'all. It has risen nicely. It smells so good. You can really smell that lemon extract in there. So while our cake is cooling, we're going to go on and make our 7-Up glaze for our cake. We're going to be using 4 tablespoons, which is 1/4 of a cup, of softened butter, and I'm using salted butter. We put in 1 cup of powdered sugar, and we're using 3 tablespoons of 7-Up. Then in addition to that, we're going to put in some lemon extract, and we're going to be using 1/2 teaspoon of lemon extract. That is also going to be in the description box below, the information for the 7-Up glaze. Now something wonderful happens when the butter and the 7-Up combine together with the sugar. Oh my goodness, it creates this old-fashioned cascading glaze that you would see on cakes in the past, and oh my gosh, it just comes out so nice, and it just looks so good and pairs so well with our 7-Up cake. And so what you want to do is, once you have all your ingredients, make sure that you're going to blend everything until you have no lumps of the butter and no lumps of the powdered sugar as well. After you make your glaze, go on and put a top on it, or cover it because you want to make sure that it doesn't dry out at all. So go on and cover your glaze. We're going to set it aside. Our cake should be nice and cool. You want to make sure that the bottom of your cake is cool to the touch. You do not want to try to take your cake out if the bottom is still warm or if it's still, generating a lot of heat. You want it to be totally cool because we want to make sure our cake comes out. So I have my cake pan on top, our cake plate. We want to do in one quick motion, just like that. And before I did that, I made sure that my cake kind of jiggled a little bit in the pan before you do that step, okay? And there we have it. Our 7-Up cake, y'all. It has come out of our pan. It is looking so nice. Oh my goodness. And that going around the edge with the butter knife like I did, shaking and jiggling it in the Bundt pan until you kind of feel it that it's nice and loose, and do it in one swift motion. When you want to take your cake out of your pan, always do it in one swift motion, but you want to make sure that it jiggles a bit in your Bundt pan before you do that, because that's going to help to ensure that your cake is not going to stick. Now we have our glaze. Our cake is nice and cool, and we're going to put the 7-Up glaze on our cake. And it's like 7-Up, butter, lemon extract, that powdered sugar marries so well together with this cake. Making this 7-Up pound cake brings back so many memories of picnics, barbecues, Sunday dinners when we wanted to have a dessert, and either one of my aunties or my mom made that 7-Up pound cake, and they would serve it up with some vanilla ice cream, or either we would have whipped cream with it, or this is old school, y'all, we would have sherbet ice cream. And I remember my mom scooping up sherbet ice cream on a plate with some 7-Up pound cake, and it was just so good. And it's just so many really good memories of having this wonderful cake. And so once we have the glaze on, I just go around the sides and I just kind of even out the glaze a little bit after it's cascaded down. Now the proper thing to do is to let the glaze totally set and harden up just a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to go on and serve us up a slice because I cannot wait to see how our wonderful celebration of 2,000 subscribers, how our cake has come out, because we are celebrating, y'all. So let's just go on and get our piece ready. Oh my goodness, it's cutting so nice. It is looking so good. I'm going to cut us a nice piece, y'all, just like that. And let's see how it's looking in the inside. Wow, will you look at that? Beautiful golden brown on the outside, nice creamy color on the inside. Let's get our fork, let's get our bite ready. Oh, it's just cutting so nice and so tender. I'm gonna get this piece right here. This is your piece. I'm gonna put a little glaze right there. Just dip it in that glaze. There you go. Take a bite of this wonderful 7-Up pound cake. Okay, my turn. I'm going to give it a bite. I'm going to see how we did. Oh my goodness. Y'all, this 7-Up pound cake, it is a home run. The recipe is from back in the day. It is my pleasure to share it with y'all. I know my mama and my aunties are smiling today at us, y'all. This is so good. I hope you give this recipe a try. And comment down below and let me know if you've ever had 7-Up pound cake before, and if so, do you like yours with vanilla ice cream, some whipped cream, or maybe a nice scoop of sherbet? Well, that is it for me today, y'all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video and appreciate the content, don't forget to show it some love. Give it a thumbs up. Click share this video with a friend or a family, and remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.